Hello, this is visual artist JonMarc Edwards coming to you from the Silver Lake neighborhood of Los Angeles, California. I am recording this at my studio, so you may invariably hear traffic, sirens, or other forms of street noise during this recording. I have been asked to briefly introduce my painting process, artistic conceits, and formal parameters that I integrate into my daily creative routine. I have broken down many of my thoughts into a number of topics or points of interest. Of course, you may not agree or wish to administer any of my practices or theories, but it is my hope I may inspire you to create, bolster, or realize your own painting potential, or help crystallize your process or personal positions. Finally, before I get started, I should point out that this is not a how-to paint demo. Rather, it is a how I approach painting every day demo. So there may be times that I sound like I'm asking you to do something. This is more like me talking to myself. The how-to paint abstractly like a professional will be for another time. Okay, let's get started. Before I begin to paint, I make sure I have all my materials I will need before the first stroke is applied. Sketches or drawings are taped to the wall for reference, paintbrushes, paint, water, etc. Be prepared. Be focused. This also means stretch. Meditate for a moment or two. Yoga, anyone? Say a word, like a mantra, or clap your hands a few times. This will help you engage and focus your abilities, telling yourself, you are in it. I am ready to paint. Paintings, I feel, are created quickly, fast in fact. Being that time is relative, elaborate, what I mean to say is that paintings are approached with inspired energy and performed with intention. A lightning in a bottle of sorts. So, excessive deliberation and second guessing can kill or dumb down a confident painting vibe. I know many of you may have this picture of the brooding artist looking sideways or hand supporting chin. For me, painting is action. So be decisive. It will be more accurately expressive, the story of you and the painting with that kind of energy. As I have just hinted to, and will suggest more as we continue, all paintings have an inner monologue or story to tell. Whether you are painting landscapes, nude figures, or monochrome abstractions, paintings construct stories. An example would be my son, when he was 5 or 6, he's now 24. Once stuck his finger onto a wet surface of a painting I was finishing up. I yelled, call it artistic license, like a warning shot, and he was scared, so I needed to let him know it was okay. After I looked at what he had done, I decided to keep it as a historical marker and felt that I could not only live with it, but thought it enhanced the overall ambiance or experience of the piece. A painting presents an advent moment, a beginning. Once an indelible mark has been realized, more indelible marks transpire and as a fulfilling story soon emerges. The painting is complete when you have come to an end of your particular story. It may let you know either through your own self-realization or by clarity of the painting itself. Be mindful of this phenomena. It happens regardless if you want it to or not. Document your painting application or do a hyperspectral analysis if you don't believe me. Again, if I was to paint a bird, I would have a picture of the bird in my mind, and my sketches or gridded photos of the bird would be placed around me as reference. But what is important is the energy and approach I bring to painting the bird, not the realistic or impressionistic result of my painting. It is the action that is important. It is the focus during the act that is really being painted. The storytelling nature, not necessarily a narrative, of the painting is based on language. Language is an art and a science. I began to get interested in language and art in the early 80s when I started going to New York City and seeing work by Jenny Holzer, Barbara Kruger, and a lot of the graffiti artists. Language, and when I say language, not the drunken white grammar books. Language, in my opinion, is critical to a painting's success, and the symbols and dashes, punctuation, and rules draw from an extremely long history. This is why I call language the first and last formidable genre. Language is a ready-made, like the word implies it is already crafted. The artist Marcel Duchamp coined and clarified the concept of a ready-made, choosing a mundane item and putting it on a pedestal. That's a quick example. This isolates the object and accentuates the inherent meaning and poetry of the object. Language, too, is concrete and can be objectified in isolation to enhance or spin the meaning into a new context. This creates what is called, or I call, text as image. Another quick mention or topic is race and class. Who gets to paint? Can anyone paint? Is creativity a privilege? These are questions that white or non-people of color artists must consider in their work. This may or may not inhibit your painting, but it is a condition or manifestation of the new artist environment, one that needs to be addressed, respected, and observed. Remember, painting is a luxury, an obsession, and a preoccupation. This makes painting a strange endeavor, an endeavor that no one may ever see or even want to see, but one you must do. It's a craving, like an addiction. Music is another topic I get asked about regarding my painting process. Students or other artists will ask, do you listen to music when you paint? I have no hard or fast rules regarding listening to music, and it's one that I don't wring my hands over too much. But when forced to give an opinion, I say I don't recommend it. I find painting in silence with my own thoughts or the sounds of the studio and the immediate environment of my studio are a more productive experience and one that is more rewarding. Yes, I go to my studio every day with the expectation that I'm going to paint. But once I arrive, the inspiration, drive, or proficiency may not be there. I always paint when I'm inspired to paint, when I'm excited and want to express myself, which I must say happens more than not, and why I was destined to be a painter. However, if I am not feeling it, I don't paint. I may work in a sketchbook or do something else creative or simply clean my studio. The paintings will ultimately expose or manifest this positive or negative energy into the strata of my paint. Don't think too hard once you have committed yourself to the surface, especially once you have applied the paint. Don't dwell or scratch your head once you've made a decision to act creatively. Go with it and see where it takes you. In the end, you can always paint over it if it's not working. That will add to the story, if nothing else. I mentioned earlier in passing regarding the storytelling aspect of painting, and I can't impress this upon you enough. The look, style, or simple motif in your work will include childhood or latent personal history, impressions, observations, or recollections. Happy or sad, go with it. Imbue the work directly or indirectly with a childhood experience. This doesn't mean illustrate a memory on canvas or on any surface of your choice, but transport yourself while the act of the painting is in process. Painting is more than anything else tapping into the unconscious or the unresolved energy you have internally, all within your grasp. Create an accurate expression of your being in the moment that you perceive as your own and paint it. Are you painting for prosperity and legacy or painting for fun and possibly profit? Well, there is no correct answer here. If you want to make money selling your paintings, there is an element of compromise and ass-kicking, ass-kicking and ass-kissing to make your dream come to fruition and be profitable. Painting for legacy is a much harder journey and not one you can always pursue directly. It takes time to establish your intent, exert attention to your work, and hubris to extol the importance of the work you are doing on a continuing basis. So just let it happen and see where it takes you. So much of painting is about you, what you like and what you want to change and what you are able to change before it's too late. Zen in painting. I mention this because striking fast with immediacy, reliance on intuition and experience are core techniques. But remember, you are not painting Zen, as that would be oxymoronic per se, but you can use the mechanics of Zen to assist your painting and give it that energy and vitality you want. Zen is fundamentally self-awareness. And finally, painting is ultimately a political act, one that demands desire, focus, and commitment. No one is begging you to paint. You have to feel it. You must want to do it every day. Abstract painting has many variables, and within its confines of subject matter, there are multiple ways to exert your own will or opinion on the public discourse, if that is your goal. Remember, language is part of abstraction, and the ace up your sleeve or hammer in your toolbox. Use it like you would a primary color. To hear more about painting abstractly professionally, please follow me at jmeart.com. That's jmeart.com.